Thanks to our staff, we're now able to report there is no truth to rumor making national rounds that every other presidential candidate on both sides of the aisle has decided to cease campaigning, knowing full well there's no way they can outwork Donald Trump. We're seeking to uncover if each has been granted, in exchange, a new condo at Trump Tower in New York City, but this at the moment is completely unverified. There are others getting into the race, and Scott Walker is just the latest to see if he can take on the Donald. Let's dig into the political animal with columnist at the National Review Online and Newsmax contributor John Fund, joined by the senior policy analyst for the Independent Women's Forum, Hadley Heath Manning. I thank you both for joining us. And Hadley Heath, I'm going to begin with you. Scott Walker is just the latest to get involved. Actually, he's done very well in Iowa, but I got to tell you, Hadley, there are some people that say maybe he's just a little too boring. Wait a minute, he might have gotten in at just the right time. What do you think?
No, I think some Americans are welcoming boring after Donald Trump's comments keep getting him in trouble. But Scott Walker has a great resume as governor of Wisconsin. He's got a lot to offer as a conservative candidate, and I think a welcome addition to the party's long list of candidates at this point. Okay,
but what about those people, Hadley Heath, who say that he's just a little dull?
Well, Republicans come in all types, right? There are the more colorful characters in the party, and there are people who tend to be more dull, but those dull people have just as good of ideas and just as good of leadership capabilities. So there are going to be some voters who are attracted to that. I don't think that Scott Walker has the charisma that maybe some other candidates have, but he does have the resume. He does have the experience as an executive in the state of Wisconsin and as someone who stood up to unions time and again. So he will be attractive to many voters. And I think on the national stage, he'll have the chance to really hone his attractiveness to voters on a national stage, because in Wisconsin, I think he's beloved by his side of the aisle anyway. But across the country, this is a different race and a different constituency. So he will be somebody who's entering, I think, the national stage. Maybe not the candidate, maybe not the nominee this time around, but certainly someone we want getting their feet wet.
John, to you, as I noted, doing very well in Iowa. Do you think he has what it takes to transfer all that goodwill and all that first push that he's getting in Iowa onto the national stage?
Well, Scott Walker, of course, probably will win Iowa as it looks right now. New Hampshire is a jump ball. But the most important card that he has in his hand, a hidden one, is that he has very high favorables for everybody's second choice. So as the other candidates drop off or don't raise enough money, he stands to inherit part of their strength. And that helps a lot. I can assure you that Jeb Bush, of course, will have tons of money and tons of support, but there are a lot of people who say, I wouldn't vote for Jeb Bush under any circumstances. Scott Walker has probably the lowest negatives on that score of any of the major candidates.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about negatives on the other side, John. Hillary Clinton's economic pitch, she says Americans need a raise. And people are saying, all right, Mrs. Clinton, where are you going to get the money from that raise and to give America that money? What do you think of her latest pitch?
Well, I just wish Mrs. Clinton would have acknowledged the fact that increasingly we're a nation of part-time workers. And a lot of people are working 29 hours a week because of Obamacare, which of course she's a big supporter of. It's a direct descendant of Hillary Care. And I think she should have had the intellectual honesty to say, yes, of course people need a raise, but we also have to find a way to get people who want to work 40 hours a week and can't the chance to do so.
Hadley, no matter how you slice what Hillary Clinton says, people just fall for her. They love her. They're all around applauding. But still there's that thinking process. She keeps talking about the average American and the common American. She has no idea, if you look at her history, of actually what an average American is. Yet people still seem to believe for some reason that she speaks to us at our level. How does she do that?
Well, it's funny. She has really embraced popularism and is talking a lot like Elizabeth Warren, Senator Elizabeth Warren right now. But she is talking about soaking the rich. You know, you ask where she's going to get this money from. She wants to blame the rich for the economic problems in this country. And
she is one of the rich, Hadley Heath.
She is one of the, exactly. That's what I mean. You know, she speaks like a populist, but in her own personal experience, in her own personal life, she wasn't dead broke or flat broke, as she said, when she and her husband, former President Clinton, left the White House. They weren't leaving as poor people. They haven't experienced what it's like, especially in recent years, in recent times, as John says, to work as a part-timer in the Obama economy. But she's looking for a boogeyman. You know, bottom line, she wants to blame the problems in our economy on the rich, on institutions, financial institutions, rather than accepting the fact that it's the progressive mentality, the progressive policies that we've seen under the Obama administration that are really causing the economy to hold back.
All right, 30 seconds left. John, Joe Biden. Do you think that Joe Biden will get into the race?
I don't think, as of now, Hillary Clinton is vulnerable enough for him to try that. But she could stumble in the next month or so again, as she did when she came out of the starting gate. I think he's lying in wait, but he's not getting ready to run.
Hadley Heath, 15 seconds. Do you think if Hillary stumbles, he'd be the best choice?
Oh, no. I think Democrats actually do have some other choices aside from Joe Biden. But for the entertainment factor, I wish he would get in the race.
I was just waiting for somebody to bring that up. That's all. Everybody will just play the video of Joe Biden in the last couple of years, and it'll be entertainment squared. Hadley Heath Manning, John Fund, want to thank you both for joining us. We appreciate your time. Talk to you again. All right, coming up, evidence that Mexican criminals are better escape artists than those here in America. What they did in upstate New York, amateurs compare what they did in Mexico. Bernie Carrick's next on The Hardline.